this moment in hockey history. The Nashville Predators currently find themselves in fourth place in the Central Division after 49 games skated. They have a record of 26, 22, and 1. 53 points has the Nashville Predators, 12 points shy of a third place and automatic qualifying spot for the playoffs, 14 points shy of first place, and only 1 point ahead of the St. Louis Blues. I will update the entirety of the division here momentarily. Let me finish updating the Nashville Predators first. On the road, the Preds have a record of 13, 10, and 1 on the season. They've scored 148 goals. They've given up 152. That is a goal differential of -4. We'll get into the next matchup, which is against the Ottawa Senators. It's the first of two regular season meetings between the Preds and the Senators, so no backstory to talk about between these two teams. Just 2 games on the schedule to go, and once the Nashville Predators wrap up this last game of the 3-game road trip, which takes place in Ottawa, they'll be back home to face off against the LA Kings on Wednesday. That is very important. You'll know why here in just a couple seconds. And then time for the All-Star break. Not back on the rink until the 10th of February when the Predators will host the Arizona Coyotes. On the 13th of February when they will host the New Jersey Devils. On the 15th of February when they host the Dallas Stars. Next road game for the Preds after this Ottawa game is on the 17th of February at St. Louis. But remember, there is a week off at the beginning of February as well. So it's not as if the Preds are just at home nonstop for the next 2.5 weeks. They are going to be taking a week break. Now, the Central Division standings, and this is of critical importance to update this because the 3-team weave continues to, 3-team weave at the top of the division. The Colorado Avalanche have now bounced back into first place after 49 games skated. They have a record of 32, 14, and 3. 67 points has them 1 point clear of the second place Dallas Stars, and they are 2 points clear of the third place Winnipeg Jets. The Winnipeg Jets, first time they've been out of first place in quite some time. Sorry, the numbers started moving around the page on me. I don't know if that's a good sign or not, but the Colorado Avalanche have a 2-point lead over the third place Winnipeg Jets. And then you will find the fourth place Nashville Predators 14 points back of first place in the division. And this in the middle of the division now is where things get really interesting and very important for the Nashville Predators because they will be facing off against LA and Arizona and St. Louis all coming up in the next stretch of 5 games. So, the Preds at 53 points in fourth place. The St. Louis Blues are in fifth place at 52 points. The Arizona Coyotes are in sixth place with 49 points. And the Minnesota Wild at 47 points are in seventh place. So from fourth to seventh, separated by just 6 points, which would be 3 games. Now, the Chicago Blackhawks are the only team that is out of contention in the Central Division at this point in time. They've skated in 50 games. They only have 14 wins. They only have 30 points on the season. So they're largely irrelevant in this conversation. But the 1 through 3 team weave at the top, and then the 4 through 7 bunching up in the Central Division is all going to play a critical, important role going down the final 30-plus games of the season. Now, why I mentioned the LA Kings game as being so important to the Nashville Predators and the St. Louis game as well, it's not just that the Blues are only 1 point behind the Preds in the Central Division, but the Blues are 1 point behind the Predators for a wild card spot in the wild card race right now, which we are going to continue updating each and every episode now. LA holds the wild card 1 spot with 53 points, and the Nashville Predators hold the wild card 2 spot with 53 points. St. Louis is at 52 just on the outside looking in, and then Seattle is 3 points back of Nashville with 50 points. I do still think that the Central Division could get 5 teams in the playoffs this season, but the Pacific Division has been surging as of late, with the Oilers obviously winning 16, and the Seattle Kraken now coming back and playing some strong hockey, and the Central Division has taken just a brief step backwards. Now, I talked about the Central Division, updated the standings right there, the season series between the Preds and the Ottawa Senators, the upcoming Preds schedule. How about we talk about those Ottawa Senators since we haven't seen them yet this season? Highly unusual, but not the only matchup from the East that the Preds have this year where they haven't seen the team yet for the first time, and it's right at the All-Star break. The Ottawa Senators are having a tough season. They're 18, 25, and 2 overall. 38 points is 8th in the Atlantic Division, which is in last place, but on home ice, respectable. 12, 12, and 2. They have scored 151 goals. They have given up 165 on the season. That is a goal differential of -14. Bit of an up and down situation in their most recent stretch of hockey in their last 5, and they sure took a beating in their most recent game. Let's go back and talk about the 20th of January when it was a 2-1 overtime loss versus the Winnipeg Jets, picking up a point, though, against Winnipeg. Impressive. That's not easy to do. 121, it was a 5-3 win at Philadelphia. On the 23rd of January, a 4-1 win at Montreal. And on the 25th of January, it was a 3-2 overtime loss versus Boston. So, again, picking up a point against a really good team in the Boston Bruins. And most recently, on the 27th, it was a 7-2 loss versus versus the New York Rangers. Just an absolute beating. Korpisalo went 13-17, took the loss, did not play the entirety of the game. Let's talk about the matchup between the Preds and the Ottawa Senators, first of two this regular season, and neither of these teams are putting up the best statistical metrics on the season. So let's talk about goals for. The Preds have now dipped below 3 at 2.98. They maintained that above 3 goals for throughout most of the season now, so their offense is really struggling as of late. 19th overall in the NHL. Goals for on the Ottawa side of things, 3.33 is 11th overall in the NHL. Now you say they score 3.33 goals per game. They're 11th in the league in scoring. Why are they have such a bad record? Well, it's because of the goals against. 3.67 goals against for Ottawa is 30th overall in the National Hockey League. The Preds giving up 3.10. That narrow margin of error is starting to get a little bit separated now. 0.12 separation between goals for and goals against for the Preds. The goals against 3.10 is 17th overall in the NHL. In the shots for category, the Preds 30.7 is 17th. The Ottawa Senators generating 32.8 shots on goal per game, which is 8th. The shots against for the Predators are 30th. That's 14th in the league. Shots against for Ottawa, 30.6 is 20th in the NHL. When it comes to special teams, the Predators are leading in both of these categories and metrics. Power play, 19.4% conversion rate is 20th in the NHL for the Predators. 33 conversions out of 170 opportunities. The Ottawa Senators are converting at 16.3%. That's 23rd overall in the league. 27 of 166 is the raw data. The penalty kill for the Nashville Predators, killing off 76%, is 27th overall in the NHL. They've given up 38 power play goals against. That rates them 26th overall out of 32 teams in the NHL in power play goals against with 38. The Ottawa Senators, 73.7% kill rate, is 28th in the league. They've given up 39 power play goals against, one more than the Nashville Predators. When it comes to the individual team statistics, let's start with the visiting Nashville Predators. Philip Forsberg continues to pace the team as he has most of the season, 23 goals, 27 assists, 50 total points on the season. Ryan O'Reilly's at 17 goals and 25 assists for 42 points. The captain, Roman Josi, is at 10 and 32 for 42. Gus Nyquist is at 12 goals, 25 assists for 37 points. And Colton Sissons bumps up 1 at 13, adds 12 assists to that for 25 points on the year. Over on the Ottawa Senators, the home team side of individual statistics, it's Stutzle at 10 goals, 35 assists for 45 points, pacing the Sens. Giroux, 14 goals, 27 assists for 41 points. Claude Giroux has had a good history against the Nashville Predators. Tkachuk, 20 goals and 18 assists for 38 points. Batherson, 16 and 21 for 37. And, of course, Vladimir Tarasenko has a lot of familiarity with the Nashville Predators from all of his years in St. Louis. 13 goals, 19 assists for 32 points on the season. Having an okay year with the Ottawa Senators, but the Ottawa Senators, again, they're not having that great of a year overall. Expected or anticipated goaltending matchup, Jonas Korpisalo for the Ottawa Senators has a record of 10-16 and 2 and 8.86 save percentage, 3.52 goals against average. UC Saros will get the start since Kevin Lankinen got the start on the second game of the road trip in Edmonton. Saros' numbers are 19, 18, and 1, 9.04 save percentage, 2.91 goals against average with 2 shutouts on the season. Nashville Predators versus Ottawa Senators, first of 2 regular season meetings. This one takes place in Ottawa. It'll close out a 3-game road trip to get the Preds 1 game closer to the All-Star break. Next time they'll meet up will be just about a month later on the 27th of February right here in Nashville, Tennessee at Bridgestone Arena. That's got you all set for the next game. We got to go back now and talk about the previous game. It was the Nashville Predators in Edmonton to take on the Oilers. It's called the Rebirth Sports Full Game Recap, and it's coming up next right here on the Renegades of Puck Podcast.